I never imagined stepping into a wedding where my presence felt more like a cruel joke than an invitation. The moment I arrived, a sickening sense of déjà vu wrapped around me, tightening its grip like an old wound being torn open. The invitation had arrived in the mail weeks ago, elegant, wrapped in gold foil, with my name etched at the bottom in flawless cursive. Noah Carter and guest. A laughable assumption. There was no guest. Just me. And my 8-year-old son, Liam. He bounced excitedly beside me, completely oblivious to the tension buzzing through my veins. His small hand grasped mine as we stepped inside the grand hall, the ceiling adorned with cascading crystal chandeliers, the scent of expensive roses filling the air. Everything about this place reeked of wealth, extravagance, and worst of all, my past. Because this wasn't just any wedding. It was Olivia's wedding. My ex-wife's sister. I should have ignored the invitation, thrown it into the fire. But Liam had begged me, his innocent heart still believing in family, in love, in things I could no longer afford to trust. So here I was, standing at the entrance of a ballroom where my past and present were about to collide. And then I saw her, Elise. My ex-wife stood across the room, wrapped in a dress so green it made her eyes glow like emeralds. Her arm draped around him, Damien. The man she had left me for. The man she had once called a friend. I forced myself to look away, jaw tightening as I led Liam toward the seating chart. I ran my finger down the long list of names, searching for mine. And then, a sharp, mocking pain twisted in my gut. There it was. Noah Carter, a single father, waiters section. My blood ran cold. A deliberate insult, thinly veiled as a clerical mistake. I had been seated near the kitchen entrance, tucked away like an afterthought. The humiliation burned, but Liam's eager eyes pulled me back. "Dad, where are we sitting?" he asked, bouncing on his heels. I swallowed the lump in my throat and forced a smile. "Let's find out, buddy." With a deep breath, I led him toward our table. But inside, I already knew, tonight would be a battle I hadn't been prepared to fight. "Let me know if you want any refinements." I sat down at the table, forcing my expression into something neutral. The elegant white tablecloth, gold-rimmed plates, and flickering candlelight were a stark contrast to the bile rising in my throat. I could handle being an afterthought, I had gotten used to it. But labeling me as a single father waiter section? That was Olivia's way of twisting the knife. I glanced at Liam, who was already busy unfolding his napkin, blissfully unaware of the silent war raging around us. His happiness was all that mattered. No matter how much I wanted to rip that seating chart in half and throw it in Olivia's face, I wouldn't let him see me crack. The murmurs around me grew louder. "Is that Noah? I can't believe he showed up. I heard Elise left him for Damien while he was still." I stopped listening. I'd heard it all before. The pity, the gossip, the judgment. I clenched my fists beneath the table, reminding myself to breathe. And then, the devil herself appeared. Olivia. She waltzed toward our table in a shimmering white gown, a smug smile curving her lips. She was beautiful in the same way Elise was. Tall, blonde, effortlessly stunning. But where Elise's beauty had once felt warm, Olivia's was laced with cruelty. "Noah," she purred, her voice dripping with mock sweetness. "I see you found your seat." I lifted an eyebrow. "Yeah. Real classy, Olivia." She gasped in feigned innocence. "Oh, don't be like that. It was just a harmless joke." "Right. Because humiliating your sister's ex-husband at your wedding is hilarious." She smirked. "Well, I did invite you. That was generous enough." My jaw clenched, but before I could respond, Liam looked up with a bright smile. "Aunt Olivia, congratulations. You look really pretty." For a brief second, her expression softened. "Thank you, sweetheart." Then she turned back to me, eyes gleaming with something unreadable. "Enjoy the wedding, Noah. I'm sure you'll find someone more suitable to talk to." With that, she sauntered away, disappearing into the crowd of laughing guests. I exhaled sharply, running a hand through my hair. I was this close to leaving. But then Liam tugged on my sleeve. Dad, can I get some juice? I forced a smile. Of course, buddy. I stood, weaving through the sea of designer suits and expensive perfume toward the bar. I wasn't in the mood for small talk, but fate had other plans. Elise said you'd come. The voice was smooth, arrogant. Damien. I turned, finding him leaning against the bar, a whiskey in hand. He looked exactly the same as the day Elise left, tall, well-dressed, with a smirk that made my fists itch. I didn't respond. He chuckled. No hard feelings, right? I stared at him. You're joking. He took a sip of his drink, unfazed. Come on, Noah. It's been 2 years. Elise made her choice. You have Liam. Let's just move on. I exhaled slowly, gripping the bar to keep myself from throwing a punch. You think this is about moving on? It's about respect. Something neither of you understand. Damien smirked. Whatever helps you sleep at night. I shook my head, grabbing Liam's juice and walking away before I did something reckless. But as I made my way back to the table, something unexpected happened. A woman stepped in front of me. Not just any woman. Her. I froze, almost dropping the glass of juice. Standing before me was Serena Hayes. She wasn't just any guest. She was Olivia's best friend. The woman who had been around during my marriage, always lingering on the edges of our lives like a shadow I never fully noticed. Until now. Serena wasn't like the other women here. Her presence had a quiet intensity, a sharp contrast to the extravagant, shallow crowd. She had always been the kind of beautiful that didn't demand attention but effortlessly captured it. Dark waves of hair framed her face, deep brown eyes locking onto mine with something I couldn't quite read. Noah, she said smoothly, tilting her head. Long time. I swallowed, trying to ignore the way my pulse quickened. Serena. Her lips twitched into a small smile. You look like you'd rather be anywhere else. I huffed a dry laugh. Sharp as ever. She took a step closer, the scent of jasmine and something intoxicating wrapping around me. I saw what Olivia did. She's a nightmare. I raised an eyebrow. And you're saying this now? I never liked her, she admitted, glancing over at the bride laughing with her new husband. We were friends by association. You, on the other hand, she trailed off, a strange glint in her eyes. I frowned. Me what? Serena hesitated, then sighed. You didn't deserve what happened, Noah. The sincerity in her voice caught me off guard. I had spent so long being the subject of whispers and pity, but this was different. This wasn't sympathy, it was understanding. Before I could respond, Liam appeared at my side, gripping my hand. Dad. Who's this? Serena's face softened. Hey, Liam. Wow, you've grown. Liam beamed. Do I know you? She chuckled. I've seen you when you were little. You probably don't remember. Liam squinted, then turned to me. Dad, is she your friend? Serena and I locked eyes, an unspoken challenge hanging between us. For the first time in years, something inside me stirred, something I thought was long dead. Liam's innocent question hung between us like a loaded gun. I glanced down at him, then back at Serena. Was she my friend? Could she be more? Serena's lips curved slightly, a silent dare in her expression. I exhaled and nodded. Yeah, buddy. She's a friend. Liam beamed, satisfied with the answer. Cool. Dad doesn't have many friends. Serena let out a soft laugh, and damn if it didn't hit me in the chest. Well, I guess that makes me special, huh? Liam nodded enthusiastically before skipping back toward our table, leaving the two of us standing in a bubble of unspoken words. Serena tilted her head, her eyes flickering with something unreadable. You know, I always wondered why you never saw me. I frowned. What do you mean? She took a slow step closer, the space between us thinning. Back then, when you were with Elise, I was there, Noah. Always in the background, always watching. Her voice dropped lower. And you never noticed. I swallowed hard. You were her friend. She let out a quiet laugh. No, I was around her. There's a difference. I didn't know how to respond to that. My mind raced, flashes of the past surfacing, dinners, gatherings, events where Serena had always been present but never seen. How had I been so blind? She sighed, her fingers brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. I told myself I'd never say anything, that it didn't matter. But watching you tonight, seeing you deal with their crap while still holding your head high, she bit her lip. I had to say something. Something flickered inside me, something dangerous and exhilarating. Serena, I started, but she cut me off with a knowing look. I'm not expecting anything, Noah, she murmured. I just wanted you to know that someone saw you. Really saw you. Damn it. I had been through hell, but this woman, this stunning, complicated, fire-wrapped in silk woman, was throwing gasoline on something I thought had burned out long ago. A slow song started playing, the soft hum of music wrapping around us. Serena arched an eyebrow. One dance. I hesitated, glancing at Liam, who was happily munching on a slice of cake, completely content. My heart pounded. Screw it. I took her hand. As we stepped onto the dance floor, her body melted against mine, the heat between us unmistakable. Her touch wasn't just warm, it was electric, igniting something primal and reckless inside me. She smirked. Took you long enough. I chuckled, shaking my head. Yeah. I guess it did. For the first time in years, I wasn't looking at the past. I was looking at her. And maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of something I never saw coming.